remember when I was building we lived in this we lived below our means. We didn't have any flashy cars and have a flashy home. All my wife's friends thought that this is where we're going to live forever. In the suburbs, in this little place with, you know, the I drove around a little Chevy S10 pickup with a ding in the door, a
Mhm.
big ding, and
Mhm.
my wife drove a little minivan, and then finally and then they just thought, well, and I worked at night in a factory, for crying out loud,
Mhm.
and here
Mhm.
I'm doing this thing by day that nobody really, that her friends don't understand what I'm doing, and they can't really see that we're getting anywhere. But in the background, I'm building and building and building and building, and pretty soon we built a newer, bigger home in a different place. And then the little baby group comes over there to have their little get together, and one of the women said, you know who died? And she's like, "What? What do you mean, who died?" Well, all of a sudden, you've got all the stuff. And it's like they didn't understand. And people think things happen like in a jump. And this building freedom is building. And two, at that point, when we built this home, and we paid off our other one, so we're free and clear. We had equity in this one. It was we had all this in the background already building up, and then people see you suddenly living in a different um, zip code. You're suddenly, she's driving a Mercedes, not a minivan. All as things change, but
But
it's intentional. It's intentional.
and you got to be patient too. It's that old saying like, "Oh Lord, give me
Yeah.
patience," but hurry the hell up.
Yeah.
You know, you get your head down and you just grind and you just make good decisions and think about the goal. You can't take your eye off of that. And people think it's a windfall. Like, who died? Did you win the lottery? Did you get some magical new job? It's like, no, this is what I've
Yeah.
been working on for the last. But even along the way, before you're there, you still have freedom. It's just a different level. Because I think once you start that path to building freedom for yourself, it's immediate, right? Because the choices you're making are positioning yourself where you're not beholden to you're beholding to fewer and fewer people. And then as you grow and as you grow, you have the ultimate freedom where you're financially free. Free is just not financial. Free is a mindset. That's a whole way of living. It's just, and that's a whole nother conversation, but which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. But it's a mindset. Once you get the mindset figured out, and then willing to put the hard work in, and stick and have that stick to itiveness, it just grows and grows and grows. And then you put your head up one day and you go, "Holy smokes, I'm here compared to where I was then, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4, whatever it is." It's a mindset thing. And you just got to learn how to work it.
Yeah. I found too that the goal, that's I hate to use that word even. I
Right.
wish there was a better, because people, goals are something you don't achieve often. Like most people never achieve their goals, so it's like, well, that's a goal, I'll never get that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think there should be, but it's whatever you want to, whatever you're building. It's like like we talked a lot about blueprints. Like, okay, if I'm going to build a house, this is what it looks like. My goal, what I'm building here is on this blueprint, and it's this is it. I'm convinced, I'm sold on this. This is what I want to build, and so I'm building it. And as I'm building it, I'm keeping track of what I'm getting done. Right, I scrape off the ground, I dig the basement, or whatever the case. There are places I'm keeping track. I'm checking things off the list, and I'm scoring. This along the way. Done, 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 done. And how many contacts? How many this? How many that? How's this going? I need to adapt these things. Uh, and even sometimes, Chuck and I once were bicycling in Transylvania, and I remember the last hill that we went up. We'd been bicycling for days through the mountains, and it was hard. And I mean, that's just hard. It was really
It was
freaking
grueling.
hard.
It was
It was
grueling.
really, it was grueling. And we had all kinds of weather, all kinds of terrain. We're in the Carpathian Mountains. We're bicycling in the mountains. And this last mountain that we had to climb, the lodge was up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And getting up that last hill was hard. And I remember you're in the lowest gear possible, and still I mean, your body, your legs are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to even imagine how to get to the top because it's too far. And I remember it's like, okay, I'd watch, like, okay, that tree, I just need to get to the tree. I just need to get that rock. I need to get, because you're doing switchbacks all the way up because it's
Yeah.
so steep. And okay, just to that corner, if I get to the corner, and it's like, okay, I made it to the corner. I just need to get around the corner. I'm only talking 6 feet, so it's it's
You're
very
breaking it down
so
though, so it's
you break
easier.
it down into the
Yeah.
smallest things that are within reach. And so when you start, sometimes freedom seems like, oh my God, it's so far along, it's so far away that I may as well, it's never going to work. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. It's very incremental and in
Mm-hmm.
extremely small measures at first. Then when you start feeling success, like you see it working, okay, now it's you're still measuring things, but sometimes they're not quite as small. They get a little bit bigger, because your measurements change, and like how many contacts, what am I, how many accounts do I have, how many, how is my income going, all these things, because at first you've got no accounts, you've got no income,
Mm-hmm.
those are all zeros, so you have to measure stuff that almost doesn't seem like it's worth measuring, but it really is important because you have to feel that success. The things that you measure. I read somewhere, I forget where it was, but some scientific study said your goals that you're doing right now have to be 85% achievable. So if I'm going to do this thing, it has to be 85% that chance that I can make it. Like going up that mountain, I didn't know. I thought I could make it 6 more feet going around the bend, really steep. I didn't know for sure. I thought I could. I thought I could. I was within reach. 85% chance I'll be able to make it. And every time I clip one of those off, it's like, yeah, 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 I can do it. And sometimes it didn't work. It's like you hit a steep spot, your legs are on fire, you want to vomit. You go, I just need a breather, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one didn't work. But then you take a breather, you hop back on, and then you go and you measure and you measure and you score it. Score it. Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? But 85% chance it's got to work. Often people, it's just their goals are way too far away, and it feels like they're never going to do it, and they don't understand how to get there because they never break it down into small enough pieces that they can see, does this work or does this work? Oh, this works. Okay, it was a tiny thing, but I go, oh, that worked. Okay, now I'm on that path. So I just changed my trajectory. But if your goal's too big, you never do these little things, which are
Mm-hmm.
so incredibly important. One of the give you a quick night story too. Working at the factory, one of the deals I made, I worked at night with one other guy. We're back in this corner of the factory, coating wire, and so we worked from 3 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning, and this guy quit, and so they wanted to find another guy to work with me, and I went, hold on, make a deal with you. If you don't hire anybody else, uh, I'll do this all by myself, and you'll save one guy's wage. You'll just pay me. You'll cut your expenses in half as far as wages go. But the deal is, when I'm done with all the stuff that I need to do, that two guys would have done over 10 hours, as soon as I'm done, I get to go home. And and the guy, my manager, said, fine with me. It just needs to get done. I don't care how it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that, then go ahead. Let's see if you can do it. And I did. Not only did I get it 20 hours of work, right? My 10 and his 10. Uh, but I got it done in 8 hours. And so everywhere, and so instead of leaving at 1 in the morning, I left at 11 o'clock. And so this was life changing because I was only getting like 5 hours of sleep if I worked till 1 o'clock. But if I work till 11 o'clock, I get 7 hours. 7 o'clock, 7 hours, I can be on the next day and
Mm-hmm.
do what's really important during the day. I have the energy to do it. 5 hours isn't enough. But how I was able to do 20 hours of work in 8 hours is scoring, like everything I was timing. It's like I'm always looking, how much time, how much time, how
Mm-hmm.
much time. Okay, I can get this done. I could get this done. And my work wasn't shoddy. It was doing the right thing in the least amount of time. But
But
most people drag stuff out too. They do things ineffectively. They're taking breaks. They're looking at their phone. They're doing all these things. And I'm like, no, let's hop to it. And and I
But
got all that
there's a
stuff done.
mindset there too.
Yeah,
Is you either have the mindset of someone who's paid hourly, or you have the mindset of someone who's paid by the job. Right. I've always liked being paid by the job, because if I can do the job in 8 hours as opposed to 10, and not in that case because it was a little different, but if you, then I can make more money per hour. See, I always looked at
right.
it that way. Like every time I'd add a new account in our industry, and helping a new merchant accept credit cards. Every time I touched that file, if I touched it once and my commission was $300, I made $300 per
A
touch.
touch.
Yeah, if I had to touch that 10 times, I only made $30 a touch. So I was constantly measuring that. And then what happens is you force yourself to build in more efficiencies. And the more efficient you are, the more ground you can cover, right? And part of the efficient, and granted, back when we started, I mean, there were no cell phones that you were looking up stuff on the internet. I don't even think if they were available, I would have anyway, because freedom was much more important than whatever came in on my phone right now. You
Well,
know what
remember
I'm saying?
lunch. Remember,
Yeah,
there's some woman that worked for us that goes, "Man, you guys don't even take lunch." So lunch was available back then, but we didn't do it. We were
right,
like, "No, we this is what and we ate. We're eating stuff, but it's not like,
right.
oh, I'm gonna go take a lunch and I'll be back in an hour, hour and a half, whatever it takes.
Mm-mm,
No, 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 no,
mm-mm.
no. That was and it was prime time. Most people are, and then you come back after eating and you're tired. Well, because that's what your body is doing. It's using the energy. So what we would often do is at 1:30. 1:30. If you're gonna grab something to eat, it's 1:30. Everybody else goes, well, they're starting to knock off about 11:30, thinking about, oh, who's gonna run for lunch? But where should we go? What should we do? And then they finally go about noon, and then they're done about a little after 1 when they should be ready to go at 1, but they don't. And then their afternoon is tired, and they get nothing done. Meanwhile, meanwhile, we were still on full speed at 11 o'clock, 11:30,
Mm-hmm.
12, 12:31, and finally at 1:30, it's like, okay,
Got to eat
if we're
something.
going if we're going to have a break, it's then. And now we're taking a break when most people are
Yeah,
trying to heave their carcass uphill after
right.
having a bloated lunch, and they haven't been effective since 11 o'clock anyway, and they probably weren't effective then. But it's a Chuck, this came from the point where Chuck was saying it's a different mindset, and so it's a like an entrepreneurial attitude. And it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur. If you've got this entrepreneurial spirit to you, this like, man, I want to go into my day and live my day with an entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm.
spirit, however that means, whatever that means in regular life. It's just spirited. It's like, man, I'm excited. I'm getting this stuff done in life. I'm creating, I'm building, I'm doing all, it's that. So it's important to be doing the right work, that's how you feel in that work, and to be thinking about that in your days too. Because there's life and work are all the same. Most people spend most of their waking hours for the best parts of their life working, and they're often doing that, kind of, doing that. It's just ineffective way about going about things, and they don't quite connect why they never get where they want to go with what they're doing and how they're doing it. Uh, but they don't have to miss all this stuff. It's just looking at it a little bit differently, and wanting a different end result out of life and work.
Bingo.